What's up, guys? Thanks again for stopping by my small little channel. I got another video for you today. You guys requested to see Final Fantasy 15 running on the OneXplayer. So I do have the Windows edition, which is, I believe, is this running through Steam? Yeah, it's running through Steam. So I do have it on Steam. This is not the, I don't know why it says Windows edition, so they probably have the Xbox Game Pass version, but this is the Steam version. So I wanted to show you guys what my settings are and what I recommend for you guys to run this. Let's turn turbo mode off because I want to show you guys the difference on my settings for turbo mode. So this is going to be optimized for turbo mode, but you can play it without turbo mode, but you might have to turn some stuff down. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like first, and then we'll move on from there. Let me turn off my light so you guys can see a little bit clearer without the glare. I do have another light on because I realized that turning the light off completely messes up the focus. So I did leave one light on, so there's very minimum glare, so it doesn't go out of focus. Alright, so let's go to load game. I didn't get very far in this. I do plan on eventually playing this game, but you guys know how it is when you're playing an RPG. You know, it takes up a lot of time, especially a grindy RPG, and I just haven't had that time. Because I usually play like Call of Duty or something that's real quick. Street Fighter, you can get a couple of fights in, you can get a couple of kills and play a couple of games, and then you're done and move on to the next game, or then that's pretty much what I do. But when I do get into RPGs, it'll be something like this. Alright, so right now with these settings that I'm going to show you, you'll get some hesitation here or there, but it'll mostly stay around 50 FPS if you're playing without turbo mode. As you see, it does get jittery with the vegetation in the background, but mostly it'll stay around 50. It'll dip here or there. Now, if you activate turbo mode, right, then you're jumping up to 27 to 28 watt TDP, and it'll stay mostly around that, and that'll fix most of your jittery issues. Now, you will drop a little bit because of, like I said, vegetation sometimes, but mostly 90% of the time, you're going to be in 60 FPS. Solid, even while there's action going on. Now, the reason why I did this benchmark outside is because, well, outside there's a lot of vegetation, so it only gets better from there. But can you play this? Absolutely. Now you're going to notice that it is a little bit fuzzy with my settings, and I'll show you guys why. Fuzzy meaning like the resolution is not, max clarity or anything like that. But as you see, you do get slowdowns with these settings, so you can turn some stuff down. But for me, this is the sweet spot between quality and performance. You guys know me, I can't play anything if it's not at least close to 60 FPS. At least very close. So we're at 60 and around 60. So before we get into it, let me step away from the violence real quick so I can show you guys the settings. But yeah, like I said, you will get some slowdowns. Let's take a look at Noxus and his face. It is a little bit blurry. It's not the clearest. Obviously, it's not the clearest picture. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can tell from the camera, but it looks pretty nice because it's a portable system. But it's not as sharp as obviously it could be. And I'm going to show you guys why. So let's go to settings real quick. Settings. And I'm going to show you guys my settings for this setup and why. Let's go to display first of all. So if you look at the display, I have it at 1440 by 900. Why did I do this? Because this it doesn't have 1280 by 800. Now, if you guys have ever had a GX Pro or a device like this that has this strange resolution, I mean, not strange, but it's 2K resolution. For it to be proportionate, it has to be in it can't be in 720p. Otherwise, the aspect ratio is a little weird and it looks kind of squeezed in. So you can't do 1280 by 720p. So this would be the equivalent, 1440 by 900 or 1600 by 900. And obviously I've gotten better performance with 1440 by 900 versus 1600 by 900 without even noticing a quality difference. So do 1440 by 900 because 1280 by 720 is just not good. And obviously it will play better at lower resolution, 1280 by 720, but I wouldn't recommend it since it'll look like a stretched in aspect ratio. It's only good if it's windowed or something like that. So 1440 by 900. If you want to play it without turbo mode in order to preserve battery a little bit, then I would say try 1280 by 720 or 1366 by 768, because 1366 by 768, believe it or not, is a little bit closer to the right aspect ratio, but both of them is going to be squeezed in. 1440 by 900 seems like the 720p equivalent for this device. All right, I do have VSync on, and let's go to graphics so I can show you guys some graphics settings. Okay. Now, I have it at 75% resolution scale, which means it's equivalent to 720p, which is like a little, like 25% lower. Well, this is what I think. I mean, you guys could do the math yourself, but I believe that at 75% resolution scale, which is only 25% lower than 1400 by whatever it was, is equivalent close to 720p. So that's why I did that, in order to try to get it at that 720p range without changing the external resolution. Okay, so 75%, and then you want to turn everything low or none or down, except the anti-aliasing, which will make the quality a little bit better. You can leave that on TAA. It makes it a little bit blurrier, but it's less jaggedy. It's like you get jagged edges. You still see, if you look closely, you still see some jagged edges in the background. It's really hard to see, but it's not as jagged edges it would be with this off. So leave that on, turn everything low and off. Unfortunately for this game, until they come out with some more updates for the Intel Tiger Lake graphics, you're not going to really be able to turn much up if you want to keep close to that 60 FPS range. Now, if you don't care about 60 FPS, you can run it at 30 FPS and you're happy with that, then more power to you. You can turn some stuff up and leave the resolution the same. No, you have to turn, you can turn up, no, you can't even turn up the resolution because that'll slow everything down. But if you want 30 FPS, I guess it'll make a slight difference. But if you use those settings, you'll be able to run it just as smooth as it should be, at least close enough to it. Like I said, it will dip down when you're outside. When you're inside, it wasn't a really good benchmark, because inside I was able to turn a lot of stuff up. So I have a save file while I'm inside something. But the best benchmark is going to be outside, because you got all this vegetation, you got all this stuff that can lower their frame rate. And yeah, you just turn everything low and you should be good to go, guys. Like I said, it does dip down because it's drawing stuff from the distance, but it won't go lower than 50, and it won't go, it's been my experience, it hasn't gone lower than 50 on turbo mode. So that's pretty good. Mostly 60, sometimes dip down to 50. I can work with that if I was going to play this game on here. But I just wanted to show you guys, that it does work, and just manage your expectations when it comes to this game, because it's not an easy game to run. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll play another game. I got a lot of videos to do today that you guys requested, so I'll get right to that. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.